There is nothing wrong, and I really try to speculate this, there is nothing wrong with wanting to look better. There is nothing wrong with wanting to love what you see in the mirror and have a physique that actually makes you feel proud. Like, there is nothing wrong with that. But yes, there is a line where the ego can start to take over and it can start to control, I guess, the obsession that we have, that we, I guess, lose focus on what's actually important. And I think that's the line when I say, now you need to start putting performance in perspective. You need to start putting health. And I was lucky enough when I fell into the path of training and exercise, because I used to play sports my entire life. And the day I decided to do an exercise science degree at university, I remember it was the end of school, high school, and it was the decision we all had to make. What are we doing? Are we applying for uni? Are we all the things? And I went, okay, I've only played sport my whole life. What am I good at? Playing sport. Okay, well, I'm going to do an exercise science degree. That's the literal decision. And one of my other friends happened to be doing it too. And I was like, a bit of safety. Okay, we can go down to uni together. We can find a share house. Like, there was a bit of safety in that. So then I made that decision. From that decision, I went down a performance route naturally from exercise science. And when I went down that performance route, I was lucky enough to fall into the hands of people who prioritized performance. And I learned very quickly the impact that can have from a longevity perspective. But also at the same time, they had the perspective of looking good and prioritizing. So that balance came in really early in life. And I grew up with a mother who prioritized energy, who prioritized health. She was a naturopath. So I've learned from a really young age the importance of focusing on those things. So while for me, my personal journey with it, which I think is where I find that line really easily and I help guide people on it, is never to sacrifice the energy, your health, your mental health, like all the different realms. And that's where that line kind of comes in. So if you're falling into a bit of like obsession with the physique, and that's where that ego kind of comes in, fall back on all the others. Mm-hmm. So I always prioritize, like, whatever decision I'm making, does this support my health? If it's for my physique, whatever decision I'm making, does this support my longevity? Whatever decision I'm making, is this at the sacrifice of my energy, of my mental health, of all those things? So when I guide someone down the path of, if someone comes to me and they're like, I want to improve my physique, I'm like, great, we absolutely can do that. But we're going to do it from a perspective of getting stronger, of building more energy, of manipulating little habits and little factors that will absolutely shift your physique. But it's from the perspective of, I'm doing this to improve my performance, my energy, my everyday human. And I think that can, I don't know, I've grown up in gyms. When I say grown up in gyms, when I started university, I had not entered a gym my entire life. So how old was I when I went to university? Like 19, 20. At that point, I had never stepped into a gym ever. And then when I did, like I said earlier, I fell into performance training really quickly. And it was from that lesson that I realized that the benefit of chasing performance and like learning that reaps physical benefits faster than if you as soon as I stepped foot into those gyms, it was like, leave your ego at the door. And I left, and I got taught that from a very young age. And I went, very young journey of when I first started strength training. And I was like, leave your ego at the door. Like, what do you mean? What do you mean? And then there were moments when I'd capture that and I'd see it and I go, oh, I understand. Because when that ego starts to take over, you can start to see the, I guess, habits and the energy and the choices that people make through that ego that aren't supporting their longevity. They'll lift too heavy weights, and that's just, we know what happens when that starts to happen. We're not moving towards our goal any faster, but we're also doing a detriment to go back to those things, our health, our longevity, our body, all those sort of things.